Jonathan, as a veteran in the indoor game, tell me about the process you go through preparing for a new opponent.
I'd say the biggest part of it would be the film work. It's usually, we're playing on Saturdays, then Sunday I want to look straight into getting to the next opponent. Sunday I want to spend all day, most of the day, trying to get my body right from the night before, whether that be in the pool, running on the treadmill, just loosening, getting that lactic acid out. But after that, then it's just straight film work. Getting with Coach Fuller and just trying to really dissect the defense. That way, it's easy come Saturday.
I've been around some quarterbacks who say things like, I take Sunday off, I try to get my arm back and my body back. You can still do those things while watching film. So tell me about your work ethic and how that's developed since your college career and into your pro career.
Oh, without a doubt. Went to a small college at Dakota Wesleyan University. I was big on watching film then, but not as much as I needed to be. I did what I thought was enough, and once I made the move professionally, I got to see how it was really done, and it's helped my game tremendously. I mean, you see the biggest steps, when you're really prepared, then that gives you the confidence to go out there and play at your best ability. It kind of eliminates the thinking process out of it. When you can walk up to the line of scrimmage and based on what you've watched, day in and day out throughout the week, you know what the defense is about to give you. Therefore, you're just reacting and playing football. Then kind of like you've been doing your whole life.
So the Bucks, us in our first year of football here in Bismarck, we feel as though the leaders are kind of setting the foundation for what this organization will become. You've played for some different teams. You've been a professional for a few years now, but never with an inaugural team. It's an inaugural first season. What do you have to say about contributing to the progression of this organization moving forward on the field?
I couldn't ask for a better place, especially as a startup expansion team. And I think leadership starts with your leaders, the guys leading me. With Coach Davis and Coach Fuller, you couldn't ask for two better guys to really take a new team by the reins and steer it in the right direction. You check the guys' resumes, it's pages and pages worth. But not only that, but as men in general, and I think they've done a good job at leading us and being around them and surrounding myself with them. I think I'm picking up the things that it takes, to lead in the players aspect, to know what they're expecting, what they're looking for, and kind of to set that foundation to know, like, this is Bismarck Buck football and this is the way it's going to be. Right. And like I said, it really falls on them as far as and the guys they bring in here. They don't just bring in just your average guy. They're looking for high character individuals along with some ball players. Right. They want guys that can make plays for you on the field as well. Go out in the town and be a good face and be respectful and like that. And when you're surrounded by teammates like that, it really makes your job a whole lot easier. Right. And that's when you form that camaraderie, that everybody preaches on and talks about that brotherhood. Mm-hmm. Well, that's something we're really forming here in Bismarck and for years to come. So just being able to be a part of that and kind of like setting the ground, with that, starting at ground zero here in Bismarck, like I said, you couldn't ask for a better fit. And with the guys in charge, the future's looking so bright here. So.
Growing up in Temple, Texas, tell me more about what your childhood was like, some of the motivations and things that led to you being who you are today.
Grew up in Temple, well, I actually grew up in Rogers, started out in Rogers, a little small town right outside of Temple. My brothers ended up going to high school there, grew their whole life there. Midway through my early high school years, my parents ended up splitting up, and that kind of forced the Temple move, and enrolled into high school there. And actually, during the process, there was a UIL meeting about me moving high schools supposedly for athletic purposes, which is against UIL rules down there. So therefore, I missed my majority of my junior and complete senior season of football in high school. And just the adversity facing there, every day, I practiced every single day, I'll never forget it. Every day showed up for practice, tried to be the first one there, last one to leave, knowing I'm not getting to play on Friday. It was one of the toughest things. And I had a lot of supporting cast though. My family's been huge, big supporters of me. Both my brothers, big-time college football players, high school stars. Kind of did it all, and I've always, got to watch them and watch how they do it. And even just from being a kid watching film with them, it'd be a Friday, Saturday afternoon, and my brothers are in there watching film, dragging me along, and I'm thinking, what in the heck are y'all doing? But in the end, it really turned out for the best. But so after all that, faced some adversity there in high school. Didn't know what was going to happen, I was always playing sports my whole life, was always athletic, and really was lost though at that point. I'm like, well, what do I do now? High school's coming to an end. I'm sitting here wondering, you know, what's the next move, and I actually ended up getting a JUCO offer to go play at Trinity Valley Community College, and I faced a little adversity at this point as well. This would be May 2nd of my senior year. I was involved in a car accident, and car accident kind of put me in a bad way, kind of hurt my ability to walk, and a lot of naysays here and there, and being told a lot of different things, you know, that I may not play football again and stuff to that nature. So really throughout that process, you know, it just helped me figure out what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And at that point, a lot of sitting time, a lot of thinking time, a lot of rehabbing time. During that process, you know, I really thought it through and said, you know, this is what I want to do. You know, I got to go play some football. You know, didn't get to play much in high school, so therefore, you know, it looks like it shouldn't even be a chance. But like I said, still practicing, still staying in the game, still staying game ready shape, just waiting for that opportunity, wanting somebody to take a shot on me, knowing I could play the game, but just waiting on somebody to pull that trigger and make that shot, take that shot on me. And I ended up enrolling into Trinity Valley and going down there, and I ended up leaving right before the season started. And no particular reason, just young, and I think not thinking it through, you know, going through some things mentally back then, you know, just ended up not sticking it through. And then I moved on to Sam Houston State. Went to Sam Houston State for a semester, not playing football or anything, just kind of getting enrolled in school, saying, you know, I got to at least get started on school, because the longer you sit out, you know, the more you don't want to get back into it. So I enrolled into Sam Houston State for a semester, intending to play football in the fall. And after my spring semester, they had a coaching change, and really didn't get the opportunity that I was looking for. So I was able to contact my brother, my oldest brother, Justin, and I just told him, I said, man, I got to play some football. You know, I got to find a place to play. Can you help me out? Really just seeking help. And he found a spot for me in Dakota Wesleyan University in Mitchell, South Dakota. When he told me this, I'm sitting here thinking, what in the heck am I going to do in South Dakota? You know, it's a complete foreign place, you know, completely different than anywhere I've ever been. You know, and I'm really just a local, never really left Texas much. But I know how important football is there. You know, I just wondered what it was like elsewhere, you know, and ended up making that move, you know, jumping the gun and heading up there, and ended up spending 4 years in South Dakota, playing for Dakota Wesleyan. It was a good 4 years. Ended up being the all-time leading passer there. Had a little bit of success. Kind of helped change the program around in a sense, as to, you know, started winning some games, trying to change the culture, you know, bringing in a different culture there. And then, you know, Coach Fuller, our offensive coordinator here, actually gave me a call one day that summer and asked if I wanted to play some arena football. And, you know, that was foreign to me as well. I said, arena football, you know, never watched it, never paid much close attention to it. And I didn't really even know what it was about, but, you know, started asking around, and that was supposedly the route you take. You know, you don't sign to an NFL team, things don't work out the way you plan, you still have to get filmed. You know, so spent a year out in Richmond, had a great time out there. Arena football had really just changed my whole game, you know, sped up my release, things that, you know, in football terms, you know, throwing in tighter windows, decision making's a lot faster compared to what you see at the smaller level college football. So ended up having a good year. We ended up going to the championship game, losing in the championship game down there in Richmond, unfortunately. Ended up getting Player of the Year, and then signed with the Tampa Bay Storm last season. Spent 2016 with them, majority of 2016 with the Tampa Bay Storm. Was able to learn a whole lot of knowledge from those guys, you know, a lot of veteran experience in the arena game. My offensive coordinator down there and quarterback coach Shane Stafford was tremendous help, and just developed me as a quarterback, a person, a pro, you know, just how to handle different situations, things that I just wasn't taught, you know, along the way, you know, things that, you know, he was great, a great quarterback in the AFL, you know, somebody that's been there, done that, and just kind of dragging me along, you know, and I learned a lot from them down there, and it was a great experience. And then, you know, this year ended up here with the Bismarck Bucks, and, you know, we're in week 10 now. It's been a great experience so far. Couldn't ask for a better setup, and just really trying to go out there and take it one game at a time.
Sure. So resiliency, being tough, going through some things. It seems as if your situation is the product of fighting through those things. Meanwhile, there's other people going through things right now too. What do you have to say to the Bucks fans going through things and who aren't really sure about their future? How can you inspire them?
Just never give up. I mean, I know it's cliche. Everybody says you set your mind to something, really, chasing it all come true. No, but I really believe that. You really set your mind to something, and you're truly cliche. Everybody says you set your mind to something, really, chasing it all come true. No, but I really believe that. You really set your mind to something, and you're truly passionate about it, and really truly believe that you can do that. Then there's nothing that can stop you but yourself. And there's numerous situations that I've been in life that helped me realize that. And the only way I've ever gotten through those things is to fight through it. You're not just gonna wake up one day and all your problems disappear and then life's great. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to work. Things ain't ever gonna be easy. They ain't. And another thing is you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I think that's a huge quote I always take with me everywhere. Is if you're always comfortable, you're probably not getting better. You know what I mean? You got to face adversity. You got to face uncomfortableness. You got to be uncomfortable in order to grow, in order to learn, in order to move forward. So, if you're out there and you're wondering, what the heck am I going to do? Kind of like Jonathan Bane was, in high school, and then again right after college. You got to find your passion. You got to find what you love. It's your life. You got to go out there and live it to the fullest, to your fullest potential, and not for anybody else, but for yourself. You got to, like I said, you got to find that true passion and just run with it. And that's what I'm doing here. And I'm hoping it can take me to my dreams and goals. I mean, I can say I've honestly enjoyed the journey so far. I wouldn't be nowhere near who I am today without facing those things. So at the time you may be thinking, man, this is the worst thing ever. But once you do overcome that and you do look back, then you can say, man, that's really who molded me, who I am today. And you can be appreciative of those things, because that's a huge step, and that's a huge mark into who you are at that point. So rather than just trying to run from those situations and doing all you can to avoid them, take them head on. That's how I see every challenge, anything. You welcome with open arms, and that's what I've learned throughout this whole process. Is any challenge, and my whole life's been a challenge. It's been crazy, but I wouldn't want it in any other way. I wouldn't want to breeze. I don't know how I would react to that. So all I know is this. But no, you just got to keep on keeping on and keep fighting the fight.